Hello guys, it's Ilya right here, and today we're talking about the Soviet Tier 8 light tank, the T-54 Lightweight. The first surprise of the T-54 Lightweight, a little spoiler, the only good one, is the armor. We have 80mm frontal hull armor and 160 frontal turret armor. Your hull can save you only from Tier 6 light tanks, but your turret can bounce off some rounds of the tanks with penetration up to 200mm or so. But you can still hardly impress anyone with this armor though, apart from lower tier light tanks. The only really good thing about this armor is that the high explosives fired at you will not penetrate it and deal the whole damage. The T-54 Lightweight is the only light tank not to be afraid of T-49 so much. You know, I met a lot of players who find the T-54 Lightweight an awesome tank. Whenever I heard that, I always asked, so what's so cool about it? And everyone replies, just armor. Some people also added build after a few seconds of thinking, but the first thing to say is always armor. And every time I want to say light tank, armor, meaning that armor is the least important thing for the light tank, at least when we focus on the features that are really important for the light tank, we can clearly see where the trouble of this tank is. The answer is pretty much everywhere. Do I have view range? No, it's 390. By the way, the only 390 among all tier 8 light tanks. All the others have 400. Is it really that important? Some put 10 meters. Oh yes, it is important. Remember that the light tank class is the weakest class in many ways, and the only really strong sides of it are the view range and camo. And 390 meters view range is a disaster. When you see the view range of tier 8 mediums who have 400 or even 410 meters view range, not even mentioning Patton with its 420. If you boost the view range to the max the way I did, you get at most 496 view range. On the other light tanks it's 507, which is quite a difference. Sometimes it means that you won't spot some tank destroyer which you would otherwise spot on some other light tank. And as I said before, the other important light tank feature is the camo. In 2 words, not the worst, not outstanding. But bear in mind that with a smaller view range you will have to get closer to the enemies, thus risking more to be spotted, especially if you don't have a 4-perk crew like I do. The only thing that helps a bit to beat these problems is the mobility, which is still not the best, but certainly allows you to be at the right position in time and run away quickly if needed. The gun of T-54 Lightweight is catastrophic. The worst penetration of 175, premium APCR penetration of 235, not the best gun handling, they all make this tank rather difficult to deal damage. And yeah, at the worst DPM among all tier 8 light tanks apart from the auto-loader MX-1390. In a 1-to-1 fight with the other light tanks of tier 8, you'll have to use high explosives, otherwise you don't stand a chance in the open field. When fighting enemy light tanks, try to use cover and your turret armor. For the equipment, there isn't much of a choice. Gun rammer to improve the disastrous DPM, optics for scouting and ventilation. We cannot afford to use vertical stabilizer because we need to compensate our poor view range, which is much more important. Remember that on a light tank, scouting and spotting enemies at the right moment is much more fruitful than dealing damage yourself. If you get to my video where I make an analysis of the personal light tank missions, you can notice that I do, however, recommend T-54 Lightweight a few times. The reason I do that is that it has better mobility than the Chinese and French light tanks, meaning that you are more likely than the Ltwt or MX-1390 to be somewhere in time. However, I have to admit I played over 200 battles on the T-54 Lightweight and I haven't completed the Lt-15 for the Object 260 even once, unlike say the RU-251 or the Black Bulldog or the WZ-132. Is this tank bad? No, not at all. Is it worse than all other tier 8 light tanks? Yes, it is. I still have to say it was an interesting experience to play this tank, and it certainly improved my light tank skill. It taught me to use the limited capabilities of my tank to the max. But still, if you are choosing what light tank to grind, I don't really recommend the T-54 Lightweight. Thank you for watching the video, like and subscribe, check out my previous videos including the light tank's personal missions analysis. The links to those videos will be in the end of this video. Play the light tanks, like the light tanks, and see you in bushes.
яблони и груши, поплыли туманы над рекой. Выходила на берег Катюша, на высокий берег, на крутой. Выходила, песню заводила про степного сизого орла, про того, которого любила, про того, чьи письма берегла.